Hello again. My guest this week has recently been elected to chair the Meat Industry Excellence Group, which has attracted farmer interest around the country. Richard Young, thanks for making yourself available.
That's fine, Roger. Thanks for the opportunity for me to come on Rural Delivery.
Richard, what is Meat Industry Excellence about?
Well, Meat Industry Excellence is a group of farmers that got together probably around the time of the PGP vote with concerns over the PGP vote, and that it wasn't addressing other areas of in-market coordination and procurement. So we felt that, you know, to get our industry going properly, those areas are needed to be addressed, and hence why we formed. We're really just a group of concerned farmers who think we can do things better.
What's your main issue with the meat industry?
Well, I think we're all to blame for the problem to where we've got to now, and we're all part of the solution. So it's a matter of working together to find the best way to move forward.
So what's the fundamental problem? Is it just price volatility?
Yeah, I think what farmers want is stability. Indications of where we're going to be for next season need to be clearer. We need to have a better understanding of where markets are and how that affects our business on farm. What are you proposing as an alternative? Part of our strategy moving forward is to gain a nationwide mandate. So once we've reached that mandate, our goal is to then appoint a tight five, as we call it, which is a group of people with a specific skill set that can look from outside into the meat industry and come up with new ideas on how we best move forward.
As a farmer, what would you like to see?
Well, I think, Roger, we need to have a better understanding of the value chain as farmers. We've got to understand that we can only extract so much out of our consumers. And as we move back down that value chain, we've all got to be adding value. So at the end of the day, we can obtain the most for our product that we're capable of obtaining.
What is your goal?
Well, the key principles, the 80% model of the willing, 80% of the willing. That is utopia for us. If we can achieve that, that's really great.
Can you explain what you mean by 80%?
Well, 80% is 80% of all red meat marketed and procured through one player.
Are there other key principles you want to address?
I think a big thing farmers are lacking at the moment is they don't feel there's any form of trust in the chain, and that's a really important one for farmers. I think meat companies are aware of that, and transparency. Like, as if we all know what each other's doing and have a better understanding of that on the way through, surely that must be a better model moving forward.
What do you think it's going to take to shift farmers' thinking?
Yeah, well, farmer apathy's always been a problem in the sheep industry, and hopefully the PGP and their first initial steps will address some of that. But you know, we as farmers need to be, as sheep farmers especially, we need to take more control of our industry, get out there and forge the future we want.
How's the overall response been to date?
Farmers are actually finally taking note and saying, you know, we've had enough of this, and let's find something better, let's change, and let's develop a new model.
And what will the next step be?
Well, the next step is to appoint that tight five, get people from outside the industry looking in, break down our model further. And at the same time, we want to do some due diligence on the companies, so we can understand better whether we want a co-op structure, hybrid structure, commercial structure. And they're all questions we as farmers have got to understand too, that, you know, what do we want out of this? Given that, after that, it's basically to form some terms of agreement, some terms of commitment going forward to next season. So we would like to see farmers all supporting one company next season.
And has there been any resistance from the meat companies?
I think the majority of the meat companies realise the system we're working under now is broken, it needs changed. They're protecting their own patch, and we're well aware of that. We don't see ourselves as the enemy. We want to be able to facilitate and promote the discussions between the industry and what we as farmers think the model should be. So we see ourselves as facilitators and promoters of discussions.
All the best for the upcoming meetings, Richard, and thanks again for making yourself available.
Thanks, Roger. Appreciate your time.
And those meetings will be held in Gisborne and Tikawiti around the 15th to the 17th of May.